Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and it's Debsy, and place to be, it's Debsy. Bloop, bloop, that's me, boop, Debsy. Hey guys, and happy Tuesday. I hope everybody's having a wonderful week so far and a great day. I'm gonna get right into it because I have a lot to cover. Okay, so one of the shows that I'm going to be now covering is going to be the McBee Dynasty, MC and then Buzzy Bee, like B. So the McBee Dynasty. You can watch, you can stream and binge the first season for free on Peacock. And the second season was picked up by Bravo. It airs on Mondays at 9 o'clock. Let's go through a tiny bit of a recap and give you the names of some players. Okay, so the McBee Farm and Cattle Company is in Gallatin, Missouri, and was started by Steve McBee Sr. He has 4 sons. That's Stephen Jr., who is the oldest, who is the CEO. Jesse, who is the most attractive. There is Cole and Braden. Now, Braden you don't see too much of because he has a little bit of a strained relationship with his father. He spends a lot of his time with his mother. Jesse, okay, nope, let's get into this. Who is attached to who? Who's dating who? Well, Stephen Jr. is with Calla. Now, he met Calla when he was one of the leads on a season of Joe Millionaire. Cole is with Casey. Jesse has been dating Allie for probably about 10 or 11 years. They're my favorite couple. And Braden, at the time of the second season, was with a girl by the name of Allie. Okay, so also something to know is that Steve Sr. is divorced from his wife. Steve Sr. is not my favorite. He is a narcissist, and he is like a huge playboy. Like, he divorced, it was messy, and now he's like, I'm never settling down. I don't want anybody to try and change me, and I'm not settling down. So this is where we enter in Galena. Now, Galena was a mail order bride. I don't think Steve's mail order bride, but nonetheless, she's Russian. She got some balls on her. I'm telling you, a lot of the fire comes from Galena. So Galena works for the company as well. She's the COO, she's the CFO, because they have the farm and they have cattle, but then they also have like a car wash / coffee shop. And Galena works a lot with that. Galena is also setting up a deal with a capital venturist outside of the state in New York City. So that's to the tune of $105 million. They need that because they are $70 million in debt. So Galena doesn't just work for him. Galena works for him. So she's kind of like, she stays over his house a whole bunch. Eventually, she sells her house and she has nowhere to live. So she bunks up with him. He doesn't want that. So there's Galena, who's the main chick, and then there's the side chick, Brooke. Brooke knows about Galena, and Galena finds out about Brooke. And Brooke breaks it off because she's like, these are a lot of red flags. Also, there was at one point where Brooke's car was broken down, and she called Steve Sr. to get a loaner car, and he loaned her Galena's Escalade, and she fucked it up. Like, the front was hanging off of it. So things did not go well there. So Brooke broke it off. So you would think that would mean he wouldn't have any other side chicks, but wrong, because he had another side chick, Kylie. When I say that girl looked young, I was like, I think that girl's young, like early 20s. And it's true. She, at the time of the first season, was 23. And he was walking around telling everybody, this is my girl. So, those are the players. That's who we're dealing with. But listen, before we get into it, there was already legal issues before season 2 even aired. Because the show debuted in March of 2024. And come November 2024, Steve Sr., he pleaded guilty to insurance fraud. He's going to be sentenced in September of this year. He's facing 30 years in prison. It's a federal charge with no parole. What he was doing was he was underreporting his corn and soybean crops. So he was doing that. So here he is. He's getting these insurance payouts. He's getting these huge insurance payouts that they thought he was qualified for this. He qualified for them, but as it turns out, he wasn't entitled to them. This was to a tune, a total government loss of over $4 million. So this is it. And from what I hear, season 2, in season 2 premiere, Steve Sr., he's nowhere to be found. Well, that's because this $105 million deal that was supposed to go down, it didn't go down. It's done. So Steve Sr. packed up his bags, left town, and left Steven Jr. in charge. So that's where we're going to start off season 2. So season 2, let me just get to this. Season 1 ended with Jesse and Allie getting engaged, which I loved. Galena confronts Brooke and tells Steve Sr. that the CV deal for $105 million from New York, well, it didn't go through. Steve leaves because he can't handle this mentally, so he leaves. Okay, so let's start off season 2. Episode 1, season 2. Okay, Steven Jr. tells Cole and Jesse, listen, this deal didn't go through, so now we got to come up with $6 million in just a couple of months or we're going to lose the farm. Like I said, there's $70 million in debt. I don't understand why you need to have a car wash coffee shop. Unless it is to bring in additional revenue or was it for Steve Sr. to hide money? I don't know. But $60 million $6 million they got to come up with it in a couple weeks. So Calla is still with Steve Sr. In season 1, he made a big deal about we're gonna go Instagram, we're gonna go IG official. And they were on again and off again. He decided we're gonna go IG official, but they were still back and forth. They still had some issues. And Calla had said, we're really good. We're good until others get involved. Steven's father never liked Calla. He didn't like her because he said that anytime that they would go out drinking, she would always get sloppy drunk. I mean, that's the pot calling the kettle black, because when him and his sons go out, him and Cole get like blackout drunk. One of the bright spots of this premiere on Bravo was the fact that they didn't blur out Steven's butt. And it was nice. I watched that a couple times. It was nice. Okay, and the second bright spot of this episode was Casey. It's nice. I'm happy that Casey is pregnant because Casey loves Cole. They've been together for a while. She's pregnant and she's so happy. However, I kind of question like why. She really does love him and she sees a future with him, but he has a wandering eye. Like he has said in the past, he has made mistakes. He has a wandering eye. He's kind of like his father, not as bad, but I don't know. Hopefully he can hopefully he can mature and just settle down and it's all out of his system. Allie and Jesse are talking. She is working on her save the dates. And they're going to be having a barbecue. And talk is like, who are you going to invite? Are you going to invite Calla? And she doesn't know. She's not quite sure. And then we find out that Casey, Allie, and Calla are on the outs. They're not talking. And for a little bit of background, the three of them were like super close, especially Casey and Calla. They were very close. So now I'm like, I wonder why. Well, then we find out Calla's sister, who had suffered through addiction issues in the past, she had passed. Calla had said nobody reached out to her, and which really hurt her because she had gotten so close with Allie and Casey. So when they didn't, she was saying that there were people who she didn't talk to for like 5 years and they reached out. And then here's these women that she was spending like almost every day with and they didn't reach out and say anything. Stephen told her that he talked to Jesse and Cole about it, but they were just like, we don't know what to say. And she's not really approachable. Listen, that's bullshit because I don't know what to say. Calla says it a little later on. You could have just texted me and said, I'm so sorry for your loss. That's what you could say. It's not difficult. But then they go back to Jesse and Allie. And Jesse, I think Jesse now sees that they should have said something. And Jesse was like, you know what? We should have said something to Calla, but I didn't think that she would want to hear from us. Which doesn't make any sense until you see the next scene with Casey and Cole. And Casey is saying, she didn't say anything to Calla because she thought that Stephen was broken up, that Calla and Stephen were broken up. But see, the thing is, to me, I'm like, well, even if they were broken up, I mean, you're still you could still be friendly and you could just shoot a text saying, I'm so sorry. I heard about your sister's passing. I'm so sorry for your loss. Sending love. You could do that. But then Cole says they were broken up, and Cole said not to say anything to Calla. So that's the reason why, that's the reason why Jesse is saying she didn't know, they didn't know if she would want to hear from them. That's the reason why. See, and this is all Stephen's fault then, because he's not saying any of this to Calla. Like, he's not saying, well, I told them not to talk to you because we were broken up. He's putting it on he's throwing his brothers under the bus, which is shitty. Listen, for as good looking as Stephen is, he's never going to commit to anyone. I really hope Calla got out of that relationship because I think it's shitty. Like in the first season finale, they go out to dinner, and Stephen's mom calls them calls them while they're at dinner, and she lets it slip that, that she tells them that Jesse is going to be, proposing to Allie, and they're like, oh my God, that's so great. So then naturally Calla starts talking about, like, you know, when do you think that might happen for us? And he's like, well, Jesse's gonna be the first one proposing, and then next it'll probably be Braden, and then Cole, and then Cole's first and second and third. And Cal's like, oh, and then you? And he's like, yeah. Now, what does that say? As fine as he is, she needs to not be with him. I hope she's not. So, okay. Steven meets Galena at the car wash. Because remember, they have a car wash / coffee shop. I wonder if it's like you get a coffee and then you drive through the car wash. I wonder if that's what, I wouldn't want to do that because then I'd have to pee. So Steven goes through, you know, hey, listen, we got to come up with $6 million in 2 months. Minimum, we have to come up with $6 million. So what he's going to do, they have crops, they have corn and soybean, and then they have cattle and bison. Like they have cows, they have bison. He wants to get rid of the land. He doesn't want to do the crops, and he wants to move more towards the cattle. This is going to go over like a lead balloon with Cole, because Cole is the son that absolutely loves farming. Like, he gets up early, he does it all day, he works well into the night and into the next morning. He loves it. Like, you can really honestly tell he loves it. Like, Cole is there because he wants the family farm to continue, because he loves farming. Like, he is farming. And Steven wants to keep the farm. He's the money person. Like, he's more into the money. Like, he doesn't work the fields really. He works the spreadsheets and the computers. So, okay, Cole and Jesse and Jake. Jake is a farmhand. Jake's like a fifth son. They're talking, and Jake says that did you hear Steven let go of a bunch of the land that we have, like a whole bunch of the land, because they need like $6 million. They need $6 million in 50 days. So in less than 2 months, they need it in 50 days. But once again, my question is, because some of that debt has to be coming from the car wash. I always wonder why they started that car wash. So this is definitely going to be a Cole versus Steven showdown. Because like I said, Cole, it's about farming. He loves farming. But with Steven, it's about the numbers, about the money, which I understand. I mean, you got to make money. I understand that, but I also understand where Cole's coming from. So listen, remember I told you Steve Sr., he had Galena, the Russian. Well, he got a new Russian. Tessa has worked for, no, not Tessa. Tessa's not the Russian. Tessa has worked for the McBee family for forever. And she's kind of like, she's not the narrator, but she's like she's the voice of reason. She's knows everything, and she's kind of the voice of reason. So the new Russian is Masha. Masha is Galena's, ex best friend. Masha met Steve Sr. actually through Galena, which now I'm wondering, is Steve Sr. still seeing Kylie, the 23-year-old? If you were wondering, at the time last season, he was 51. So, okay. Masha meets Tess at Steve's ranch house, at Steve's house. And she's taking her through and showing her like where everything's at. She's like, I know where everything's at. I've been here before. We have been dating for months. And as we come to find out, they were dating when Galena was still living at the house. Who? Listen, I thought at first when it was like, oh, it's the McBee Dynasty. Oh, it's all cowboys, because I don't watch Yellowstone. But then I saw like that couple of them were pretty good looking. And then I heard about all this drama and I was like, oh. And at first I was like, maybe I will not watch because he is a crook. But then I was like, wait a minute. I love trashy. I love a good trashy reality TV show. I absolutely love it. I love a train wreck. And this is a train wreck. Okay, so Calla meets up with Galena. They get some coffee and they just shoot the shit. They just shoot the breeze. Calla talks about her issues with Steven. And there really were a lot of issues because like when her sister passed away, he really wasn't there for her. Like he wasn't there for her at all. That's not even red flag number 1. That's like red flag number 50 probably. So, okay, now listen, good on you, Galena. Galena finally wised up because she's single. She has moved out. She bought her own house in Kansas City. She got a glow up. She got her hair done. She changed up her makeup. She doesn't spend a lot of time in Gallatin anymore. Good for you. Good on you. I always wondered last season because Steve Sr., I'm not saying what he does is right with, sleeping around with all these women. However, he did come out point blank the first season and was like, and had always told her, I do not want a committed relationship. And she thought she was going to change him, and she wasn't. So I'm glad that she has finally seen what's going on and come to her senses. And she's like, yeah, she knows all about Masha. She's like, that was my best friend, and I introduced them. And I should have known that something was shady because like when Galena would be out of town, Masha would be like, oh, I'm going to go to this function that I'm going to go over to Steve's house because he's having a party. And she was like, oh yeah, sure, go ahead over. I trust you. So Calla says, yeah, you know what? Come think of it. We went over to Steve Sr.'s house and Masha was like already there, So, and Galena knows. She's like, they're both straight up lying to me. They were lying to my face. Right in my face, they were lying to me. So, but this is like not the first time. We find out this is the first time that Masha did this to a friend, where she stole a friend's man for like, just to support herself. She's looking for his money is what she's looking for his money. But here's the thing. He might be going to prison. So I don't know how much money you're going to get. But here's the thing. Galena's like, she did that to me and I was her best friend. I would never do that to a woman, ever. I would never, ever do that to a woman. In confessional, Cal is like, the nerve of her that she says that because she was the one that split up Steve Sr. and his wife. And there were like kids involved. There were 4 sons involved. And what she did was like way worse than what Masha's doing. So that's crazy. And then Kala tells Galena, well, you know, Masha's up at his house right now. And he moved her in. He let her move in. Like, she has a key and everything. Well, that sets Galena off. You can see her wheels working. Like, you can see, and then she gets that face. And she's like, oh, nice for you to tell me that. Excuse me, I have to go to a restroom. And she's like, okay, where are you going to go to the restroom? They're sitting on the side of a road. You're going to go to the restroom on a public street? And Kala's like, okay, sure, I'll be right here. Come right back. Okay. And then she gets in her car and she drives away. Kala's like, oh, I guess she's not coming back. So she gets in her car, drives away, and immediately calls Steve Sr.'s phone and is blown it up with a message about your whore got balls, and she is blowing it up. And then at the end it says this voicemail is not set up to take messages, or like, no, this voicemail, this mailbox is full and is not accepting messages. But my question is, like, why do you even care, Galena? You're gone from him. You knew he was doing this. You knew this is how he is. So why? Like, why even care? You've moved on. Just move on. So in the next scene, Steven goes over to the farm. Galena's there. Doesn't she give him a $7,000 repair bill for Masha's car because it was beat the shit out of? Oh my God. Honestly, and he was like, did you do this? She's like, I did not. Producers are like, are you sure you didn't do this? I did not do this. I'm like, oh. She 1,001% did this. Galena is good TV. Galena is good reality TV. She is fiery. It looks like at some point, and no, this really gets like, goes back and forth with Masha. And it looks like Galena gets arrested this season. So Steven is on his way. I don't know where he's in his truck. He gets a call from Kara, who works with the company. And she's like, okay, I'm just calling to let you know that the lease on that land, it's finalized. He's like, what lease? Because he's been selling off farmland. And she's like, you know, the one that Cole was talking about. Well, or the one that Cole was working on. Well, this is news to Steven. This is news to everybody. So Steven rolls up on Cole. He's pissed. He is spitting nails. No, Cole didn't tell anybody about this. He's like, did you even tell Jesse? Not even Jesse. But if Jesse knew, Jesse would agree with me. Now, Steven is Steven's pissed because he's like, you went behind my back. And you know, I told you that I want us to get away from crops. And because and for the last 3 years, there's always been some kind of excuse as to why we're not making a huge profit in our crops, whether it be climate or, the weather or, anything, or I don't know, anything. There's always some kind of excuse. And Steven sees the cattle as the beef side and the cattle as guaranteed money. Steven says, aren't you, and then he says to Cole, he says, aren't you tired of doing backbreaking work every day? Cole loves that. To him, I don't even think that that's work. It's just something that's in his blood that he loves doing. And he thinks I can make this work. He looked at the land. He knows what to look for. And he looked at the land. He's like, I really think that this is going to be I believe it's corn. It's a corn farm. And he goes out there and he looks at it. And previously in the first season, his dad was like, you have to take chances, and sometimes you have to listen to your gut, and you have to just go with it. And Cole is very smart when it comes to the actual physical work of farming. So he's like, I really think that this could bring in money. But there's also that side that's like, because in the first season, it was really Cole against Steven for who is going to take over the farm. Like Steven Jr. is the first son, is like the perfect son, went to college, and it's assumed that he's going to get it. Well, then Cole just kind of wants a shot at running it too. I mean, I can see where both of them are coming from. I can see where Cole's coming from just because he loves the farm so much. But $6 million in 50 days, I mean, that's a lot. And then you have more land being taken on. So, I don't know. I can see where they're both coming from. I love Tessa. I do. I love Tessa. Steven Jr. Meets with her, tells her about Cole signing the lease, and Tessa was like, listen, he probably just did this to make you proud. That's not the reason why. And just to help out the family. Like, he really thinks he is doing something to help out, and he just wants to help out because he loves his farm. So just give him some grace. And it looks like Cole maybe was softening up a little bit. So speaking of Cole and Casey, they're talking about Jesse's barbecue. Is Callie going to be there? And she might be. And that's not sitting too well with Casey. Speaking of Cal visits the ranch, and she's talking to Tessa. She tells Tessa about like how her and the girls just aren't getting along. It's because after her sister had passed, they didn't reach out and say anything to her. They haven't talked to her at all. Tessa tells her, you know what? You guys should, when you're at something the next time together, you should pull them aside. You should talk to them, because these women they could be your sister-in-laws. So you want to make things good with them. And Tessa made a good point. She's like, I have had some tough times in my life, however, with family. However, don't hold on to these things, because family and friends, they're the most important. And just, you never know. You never know when something is going to happen. And then the last thing maybe that you had said to somebody was something, mean, or you had unresolved issues. Okay, so at Jesse's barbecue, and I like this, Braden's there. He's not, like I said, he wasn't there in much of the first season because he lived with his mom. But Braden and his girlfriend are there. It's not the girl Allie, it's Tegan, I think, maybe. She seems nice. So Casey and Cole arrive, and before they get there, Casey's kind of upset that Cal is going to be at the barbecue. I was like, wow. I wonder if something else happened that is making Casey really not a fan of Calla right now, because Allie seems to be better with Calla than Casey does, because she invited her over to the house for a barbecue. But she says, yeah, Casey's upset that she's really upset that Cal is gonna be there. And she says that she's seen how Calla is when she's upset at Steven, and she's a little nervous. So Calla arrives. Calla shows up. She's beautiful. Calla's a very, very pretty lady, very beautiful lady. Very fit. She shows up with these protein brownies. She comes in, she's like, hi guys, I made brownies. Their protein brownies are really good. Protein brownies. I'm sure they are good. Listen, I should eat more protein too. But if you're gonna go to like a cookout, like a barbecue, and it's in Missouri, I don't know that protein brownies are gonna be, you know, what they want. So she comes in, it's nobody talks. Like, nobody talks to her. The only person that says a little something to her is Allie, and that's it. It's awkward. So then Casey starts getting like real flustered, and she almost passes out. And she starts crying. She goes and sits down. It's something with her heart. So they take her to the hospital. Like Cole drives her to the hospital. It's terrible. I hope she's okay. I mean, obviously she is, because we see her in the rest of the season. So this season, it looks like Steven Jr. is telling Jesse, listen, if you don't have a prenup, your name can't be on the farm. And Jesse's like, well, draw one up for me then. And Allie is seen crying. I don't know if that has anything to do with the prenup, because, you know, editing, they do get married, because I've seen pictures. So they do get married. I think I follow her now on TikTok. So they do get married. Beautiful. I love them as a couple. The FBI investigation is brought up. Galena is arrested. And I think it's guaranteed that Calla and Steven Jr. are broken up, because I saw some TikTok things where I think he says that he is not married and he doesn't have a girlfriend or something like that. Now this could be from I don't know what year it was from. And also he said whenever he went on Joe Millionaire, that he went on Joe Millionaire. He didn't go on Joe Millionaire to find a wife. He went on Joe Millionaire because he wanted to shop the farm around to be on one of these reality shows. I mean, he's fine. He's a red flag. Okay, so listen, if you watched it, let me know in the comments. Like I said, I'm not typically a person to watch cowboy stuff, but they're fine. And it's drama. I mean, there's some straight up drama. So if you did, let me know. And if nobody told you yet today, you were loved, seen, and heard, please make sure that you put love, kindness, compassion, acceptance, hope, and positivity out there in the world so it comes right back at you. Please take care of one another. Always put kindness out in the world because it's free. Please be aware of your surroundings. Be smart and safe. Hydrate often with some water. And if you're in a dangerous situation, know that Dolly and I are sending our love, thoughts, prayers, and positive energy your way to make it through. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye, guys. Bye. And actually, I think you guys are going to see this on Wednesday and not on Tuesday. So that thing at the beginning where I said Happy Tuesday, Happy Wednesday. Bye, guys.